Oi, what's up? It's Demented, and today I'm revisiting Skewed because specifically I got asked by someone in my comments to re-review specifically Skewed versus Shock because the level of competition will be higher, so maybe, and this person did make a really good point saying that maybe Skewed's flaws that I saw personally came from them being against a lesser opponent because that very much changes how you play the game realistically, where you can be a lot more aggressive, which was mostly my comments and stuff towards him, was that he was started to get sloppy or started getting like a little bit too aggressive with his positioning, stuff like that. So I want to see against a actual formidable opponent, being the Shock most recently, that I want to see how he matches up. So with that being said, let me get my lo-fi started and get into my normal preface. So basically, I am a main support reviewer that for the most part is just trying to make this fucking role better by any means necessary. I really am hoping that I can raise the bar for this gameplay and make it exponentially higher, or at least on par with other roles, to where it's actually considered a good role and one that you need to I guess put a little bit more effort into, and one that's more fleshed out and developed. So with that being said, I'm going to be a little bit more harsh, and I think that's about it. So okay, so coming out here, just if we're looking at the matchup, when you're playing Brig, there's very different ways that you can play Brig. So when we're looking at Glad's comp, this is all basically like dive, except Diva is kind of like dynamic, can kind of dive or peel, whichever you want. So with that being said, your only priority on Brig is keeping your Ana cared for, and that's pretty obvious. But where this starts to be a little bit of an issue is that Shock is on more of a spam comp with their BAP, with their Orisa, with their Kree. So all of that is going to make shield management a lot more important, as well as the most crucial mark and marks that we cannot be missing in the slightest is those on Nero and Choi. Now for marks on Tracer, I think my usually go-to is not flailing, but waiting for them to come in, then bashing, hitting them once, and then they're kind of forced to recall in most cases. So that's at least what I'm going to be looking for on a basis level. So hopefully that's what I see, but could always be wrong. Okay, interesting pack usage already. We're kind of just whiffing them. This is okay. Like, that's stuff we can't do. Like, if we're just looking at this in general, like, and I don't want to make this into more of a team thing, but that was just such a useless play, to be honest. Like, I talk about whenever I watch gameplay that, like, if you're a Brig, you need Inspire, and I want to see how meaningful that Inspire is to you. That does not mean walking out here 1v6, getting spammed a little bit, and then bashing away. That's not how I feel about that. But ultimately, if your team has all the, I guess, tools to pretty much touch point repeatedly, as well as you have a Nano Monkey that you can play for, as well as if you play for a really long fight, you could get Nano Blade. And all of this is pretty much just to mean the tempo of how Skewed should be playing. So we've already taken a lot of shield damage because of this, as well as like just in general. Anytime we're starting to get aggressive, it's a little weird. Okay, so this is again, this is horrible cooldown usage. So this is, I guess, if you would want to call it like a prediction bash, kind of just assuming that the Tracer was going to be closer. But Tracers have a tendency to do a couple things because they're dueling you, and right now every second that you're making this Tracer waste is really fucking good. But where I kind of have an issue with this is Nero starts poking a little bit, Skewed immediately bashes towards them, and then Nero goes away. So now, and this is all happening while a dive is happening, so I'm going to talk kind of hindsight, but if we're saying hypothetically, just in general, now Skewed is up here-ish and is in a really out of position space. He then walks back and whiffs a flail in there at random. So I'm not the biggest fan of this cooldown management, just because I feel like this bash doesn't get you anything, and then immediately trying to, I guess, go for a flail on, I don't even know if that was Nero or if that was just a Hail Mary, but either way, this is, and the health pool and shield pool of Skewed pretty much speaks for itself, meaning that we're down 4 bars of health as well as half to our barrier, which is meaning that we're really good doing the shield dancing. Our shield dancing is doing fine, but what's like really starting to, I guess, put a bad taste in my mouth is not going for a consistent inspire proc, and instead just thinking that like no matter what, like this tracer is gonna get fucking dumpstered no matter what. Plus I think there we could have gone for a flail on Choi, because right now we're being drained. But this also, this health pool, which this was at like 130-ish or whatever, says how little the margin for error is, which seems harsh. Like that the margin for error of getting Inspire is very slim, until, just by example, we saw Skewed go for a bash onto Nero and a flail onto Nero, miss both, and then as we're panicking saying that we need healing, we're letting a freshly minted Choi just kind of boost her around, which obviously this would have been a really split-second reaction time, but that's what you need. You need to find the pockets, because that's where Brig succeeds so much. And right now, all passive ult charge. And somehow, like, I mean, if this was a better Brig being Violet, which when I watched his gameplay I wasn't too impressed by, like, I think that we would probably be at like a probably 30% ult disadvantage, and the other Brig would probably be upwards of like 50-ish by this point. But we're not, so hindsight means nothing. And then we whiff another flail, which I'll just say that this is more warm-up, and also depending on how I feel. Okay, now we've completely ditched Shu. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about that. If Shu dies, this is then Skewed's fault. Okay, this is a little unnecessary. So we ego peek this. I'm fine with ego peeking this Deadeye, but what I'm not really interested in is the then trying to literally thread the needle with bash. I don't like that. Literally, it's, especially because they're on a spam comp, that if your shield takes the shot, that's fine. And plus, then that eliminates the threat even faster in terms of making it to where your DPS don't have to really worry about anything like that. But this now leaves you without a cooldown or whatever, as well as our Inspire is so fucking low. We've procced once, I believe. So there's another proc. There's some nice procs. Man, I feel like we're bashing so much unnecessarily. I feel like that's a resounding thing now. So I mean, realistically, I don't finish off baby divas with flail solely because if you don't use flail, you then get two, or you get either one extra proc pretty much, and you don't have to waste the fucking cooldown on it. But and again, this is where I think the aggressive positioning kind of like really fucks Skewed over, because Skewed is having to play like, he for some reason feels the need to like ego peek this just to waste bash, or walk all the way over here and then sit right here, get flashbang out like right here-ish just to bash away. Like bash is versatile in the sense that it can be used as a disengage. It shouldn't be used as a disengage all the time though, because then that's costing you inspire procs, because there has never been a more free inspire proc than bashing someone and slapping them once, just normal slap. But that's all I've seen so far. Now here's where I think a bunch of people start to assume that Skewed is some like Brig monster or whatever, is because, well, okay, when I look for main support problems, basically like on something like a Brig, I mean, assuming Violet is a good Brig or something, I would then be like, holy shit, look at Skewed's uptime and stuff compared to Violet. But in reality, we have been in this map for, if we negate the 30 seconds from the start, we've been in this for about a minute and 18-ish seconds, and we've procced Inspire about 5 times. 6 maybe if you count the flail that just happened on the ons. I don't remember. It's roughly 5 or 6, which statistically, what the fuck is that? As well as, what the fuck was that shield poke? We just took shield poke for no reason. It just felt like it. Like if you're gonna do some weird aggro positioning like this, like, are you at least like looking to farm like nano or some shit because your first nano didn't go so well? But we're not. We're just peeking and taking shield damage to take shield damage, I guess. Taking more shield damage. Another unnecessary bash. What the fuck? I do not like this bash whatsoever. Okay. If you're bashing anywhere for movement, you're doing it to negate the possibility of it cucking you. What the fuck was gonna happen to Skewed from here to here? What was going to kill you? There's a big ass wall here. Like, you're in fine LOS. If he would have bashed from here into kitchen, that would have been fine. But here to here, there's no fucking reason for it. As well as now, because they do use window, let's imagine that this window is, I don't know, better timed, or maybe that they're in the middle of pulling or something, just to throw out some hypotheticals of like ways that this could go wrong. Like, you are now putting yourself, you just bashed yourself into a position to die instead of bashing yourself out of a position to die. It makes no sense. We're again split from Shu, which keeps happening. I am not sure why. We're not... Yo, okay, hold on. This is scary as fuck. Okay, you just flailed ons. Now that's fine, but now, like, okay. So we saw a couple things after this flail happens, because when you off angle for flails, especially in a super aggressive positioning such as this, you're gonna get people that look at you. That's just a given. And that's what ons does, That's what Smurf does. So are you really willing to fucking roll the dice and for some reason just kind of sit here twiddling your fucking thumbs and looking to, I don't know, maybe hit Diva or some shit, rather than scouting if the McCree that you just fucked with is gonna come pick a fight with you? As well as you have Diva with you, so you could follow up on this, as well as like Smurf isn't petty. If I'm turning this into a more of a joke thing, we're gonna say fucking you being Skewed walked over here, like fucking slapped the shit out of Ons. Ons goes flying back and is like, hey, I didn't like that very much. So this guy walks you up and really wants to know if you're about the business. Smurf doesn't care because it's none of his business, but Ons is fucking petty. So Ons has a fucking bone to pick with you and he's gonna come fucking take your shit. So are you going to then just expect someone that you just bitch slapped to fuck off and to not care that they just got bitch slapped? Like, you can't, that's unrealistic. Like this, there's no scouting here, and by the time it's done, like, he's already here, and luckily Space fucking pulls off the maneuver of the century. But you know how that would have been even more well played if you weren't fucking having to panic bash, because Ons got scared the shit out of just as much as you, but you could go third person. Ons can't. Like, good reaction time. I don't personally agree with the flail, to be completely honest, but nonetheless, like, I don't know, that's weird to me. But again, this is fine in hindsight, but the execution of it is so shit. Shield dance, please. What the fuck? Just watch our shield HP. So we're already 85 going into it. We're now 112. But look at our HP. Our HP is significantly higher. We start hard shielding? Why? It doesn't make sense. And then we just start perma swinging. Wait. Okay. Again, so something that I bitch about constantly is consistency. I bitch about it, especially in like the Jake video and stuff, where it's like Jake, I believe, would like deal with a ball in one way. He would like do one way of marking, and then next thing I know, it's the complete opposite. So I don't know how we went from a super bash happy Brig to watching a Choi Oben, a fucking MVP, a former MVP candidate in the past seasons. We're just gonna watch him use micros in front of us? Why? Why? What's the fucking point of it? You're giving him an opportunity. You're giving them the window to shut you down. You want, as Brig, you want to feel oppressive. You want fucking anyone who thinks they have a chance of dueling you, of getting close to making this even in the slightest. You want them to feel oppressed. So with that, I don't know if you're waiting for fucking boosters or, you know, you just want to, but look how low you go for no reason, just because you wanted to eat some micros. I'm gonna chow down on some Ritz real quick, but we do have a rally, so hopefully we use that. My apologies for the rich. Uh-oh. Okay. We didn't deserve that proc anyways. Look at how shit this angle is. Which Brig, obviously, when you're thinking Brig, off angles and shit don't come to mind. But look at how poorly timed this is. We wait for them to bongo and then start pushing a corner to then get an off angle and miss. Now the miss part I don't care about. Hold on. We finally get a fucking Inspire proc off it. That was concerning. Hold on, let me check the shield. Just does not shield dance very much. Yeah, the shield dancing here is a bit weak. So, way I think that this is played better is starting again like on a corner like this, hard shielding, waiting. As soon as you see bongo come out, like, I mean, especially because they all funnel out of the same way. And when people funnel out of one doorway, there's a whole mix of people that you can hit right there. And that takes the skill part a little bit more out of the skill shot, you know? So it kind of makes it easier for you to get value instead of trying to be like, let me just sneak in a little, because you're trying to sucker punch Smurf, and I don't know why. There's no real reason for it. And then Shu just gives up. But and just bash for no reason, but that's whatever. It's end fight. So I'm assuming since we held rally past there, that we're probably gonna be holding rally to mark their rally. Look how fucking open we're playing. Why? So first off, we choke the initial proc on Choi. Because Choi stands out there for a minute. So then Choi peeks, boom, you got what you need. Just if you're really concerned about what's going on, bash away, just play or walk through cage. It's the little things, because you're now saving yourself not only the time of rotating from the outside of cage, but you're now also saving yourself from getting your shield poked out, which really fucking blows. As we take like way too many Kree shots, and then don't let our shield recharge. What is happening? What the fuck is this? Okay. This is a rough fight to watch. Oh, we already saw this. So, like, if we would have just got our shield poked out and then we would have chilled, that would have been fine. But then we look for another angle here to fucking just stand. We rally. The bash on Smurf is really unnecessary, but I guess it's also kind of a movement thing, because it was moving away from Ons and Smurf just happened to be there, so it's kind of two birds one stone. But glancing over that, I mean, we are literally like getting to be 50 HP over our typical limit and are still shield dancing and letting our shield take so much damage, which then almost gets us killed. Wait, how did... Man, I don't know what is this guy's problem. So, we have full cooldowns up. And we let... like, bombs going off, we let Choi booster away. We let fucking Violet aggressively bash into us. And then let bomb go off before bashing. Why? What is this hesitation? I don't understand it. Man, I was just thinking about like me giving people the benefit of the doubt for Like, oh man, maybe it was maybe it was a little just warm-up map. They were having to warm up the flail, the whatever. But these guys had a warm-up, and the fact that this is how their gameplay is after a warm-up, mechanically, like, again, how many fucking flails have we missed onto an Orisa or a Diva? Like, we haven't even ego flailed that much, and we even hit our most recent ego flail on Nero, but we're missing ones on tanks. What the fuck? This Orisa gold bash, not a fan. You, like, okay. Couple things that you would want here. So, firstly, it's gonna be really good when you get your whip shot up. That basically that's just free extra damage onto someone like Smurf whenever they use gold. But like immediately bashing an Orisa as soon as they turn a corner, I'm not buying it, really. I mean, luckily they're not on Ana, or else, because like all of these nades that like Shu literally has to like heal nade Skewed so much to win some of these duels in the really bad positionings that Skewed is finding themselves in. It's rough. If I'm honest, I don't want to judge too early, and I also don't think I'm gonna make this a I was just about to say I don't think I'm gonna make this an insanely long video, but I'm already 27 minutes into recording. So that kind of goes out the window, but I don't want to make this too, like, I guess, nitpicky or too negative about Skewed, but honestly, this looks worse than what I remember from Titans. Now, this might just be because I've gotten more, not really more strict, but I remember also being very tired when I was watching the Glads versus Titans, and I started picking it up a lot more towards the end. But I don't know. Again, what is that? Why? What was the purpose? We just felt like eating those. Like, what kind of an angle is this for the people that are on high? Because I don't see a very good angle unless our Brig literally does not want shield anymore. Is so keen on not having shield, actually, that they continuously ego peek until their shield is dead. Okay, we've already dropped. Okay. Why did we drop? I'm very confused by this, actually. So, I mean, I'm trying to find a way to justify it, even though I shouldn't be. So, I think maybe their thought process is having Brig be orbed on the outside while giving Inspire and Pax to both Ball and Tracer as they attack the point. But that also puts you in a better LOS to get naded by the Ana, as well as you can just get dove on Brig. This is a really weird thing, especially if you're not hitting those flails. You're not that guy. Yeah, we're kind of just getting spammed like a lot hard. We kind of just put ourselves in the fray. We haven't hit any cooldowns, actually, as a matter of fact. We've only hit one bash, as well as, again, we did put ourselves in a position to get naded there. Let's just look at everything that fucking unfolded there. Cause Skewed, okay, Skewed drops, doesn't initially get inspired, but after, like, if Skewed drops down, hits all these procs, that gets the ball rolling, that's fine. But it's the fact that these, that this kind of stuff is not getting hit, these procs aren't getting hit, this, no, like, not a lot is getting hit, that's really messing with me. Okay, we're still just not taking high. So I guess Brig is our sacrificial lamb to go to point. Like, we're already, this is the second time that we have gone to point and then noticed, oh shit, there's people here, and had to use bash to escape into this room. Like, that's crazy to me. I didn't mean to click that. I mean, that proc is fine, but like, even here, we get a good proc. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Boom. Okay, freeze frame. We're gonna keep this range in mind, which this isn't the entirety of the range. I think it's a little bit more. Who did we hit? Space didn't even get it. Muse didn't get it. I mean, maybe Space got it, actually. I mean, I think, isn't Kevster? Yeah, Kevster didn't get it. Like, we're putting ourselves in such a weird fucking position. Like, if you go to point, you get wrapped. But why the fuck are we on Brig in the... not on Brig in the first place, but why are we even on low ground in the first place? That doesn't make sense to me. Another proc, that's fine, but we had to use so much to get in and then get out that we had nothing by the time we got to the end, but we almost have rally, so that's fine. I'm just gonna take it to point and rally. Okay, so I think that's their thing, is that they're trying to make Brig their focal point on point, but god damn, Skewed is just having to bash away every single time. It's actually nuts. Ugh. Either having to bash to avoid spam, or I mean, this has been fine. Dude, these flails are sickening. Man, I was actually, okay, unfortunately enough, I was actually starting to get aboard the Skewed bandwagon right before watching this. I was like, you know, people are saying he's really looked up. Maybe he has. Maybe he's really exceeded expectations and has overshadowed what was the Vancouver Titans game. We just have done nothing in this fight. We have to commit ults before we even do anything. We still haven't procced Inspire. There we go. Let's go. Finally. There we go. We're getting a couple procs in here. Don't know what that was, and now we're in a absurdly aggressive position. This rally is fine, timing wise. All these procs are fine. That was good. I mean, a little useless, but good. Again, we didn't scout the corner, so we didn't know where ball was, or that ball was going to swing around that corner, killing us. The mercy kill was cool though. It was cool. I will give credit where credit is due. Nero was fucking fuming as that happened. I remember that. Like, again, what the fuck are we doing? No bash, no fucking, man. It's fucking rough. Alright, so still seeing a lot of problems. Fair amount. Okay, so I think ego flailing, not even ego flailing, just flail accuracy has fucking downwards trended a fuck ton. Like, flail ac is like down the shitter. I mean, positioning is still an issue. Like, I don't even know, man. Cooldown usage as well, with all the bashes and stuff. But like, see, I whenever I'm someone that is like telling people I don't think Skewed is like an amazing Brig, and if I then am like, here are the reasons why, these seem very objective and like, yeah, you can just be like, oh, I don't like Fate as a main tank, and it's like, okay, why? He's got bad positioning. It's like, I mean, that's very general, but with Brig you have to be very shallow because the character ain't that deep, chief. But with the character not being that deep, I don't know, man. You kind of have to show up where the points actually matter. So that's unfortunate, but hey, at least we learned something, hopefully. So I mean, just thinking in general, I might even have to like knock Skewed down a tier in on my mental tier list, to be honest, because that was a very poor performance. And I would look at more maps, but I don't want to say I'm bored, but I'm tired. So I don't want to half-ass anything. So I appreciate the fuck out of you for watching this video, and I mean, let me know what you thought about this, because I definitely think this was a step down from before, at least what I saw. But regardless, I'm still happy that these guys made playoffs, and maybe in playoffs I'll be shown differently, and maybe he'll put a lot of work in. So I mean, that's about all I got. So follow me on Twitter to know whenever I upload, and I will see you when I see you. Later.